Hey, aloha. What's up for office hours today? April 23rd, 2023, 4/23/23. Yeah, Earth Day yesterday. Hopefully y'all did something for the Earth. Not just one day, but make every day Earth Day, right? Isn't that the saying? Since forever, right? It's not just like we have all these this month or this thing, but Earth gets one day. How about the Earth year, the Earth century? The thing that sustains us all, making that a higher priority for all of us. I don't know. I guess if you're here, you probably are tuned into that. But wishing you, happy. Also, the other day, 420, happy spring holiday to everybody. But before we get into all that, great to see a good group of folks getting in here. Let's get a little bit of higher wisdom, because Lord knows I need it. And today is the taming power of the small. Taming power of the microbes, maybe. This hexagram. Oh, it says you're temporarily restrained. It's time for taking small steps. This hexagram signifies a time when darkness has temporarily enveloped the light. The creative power is present in the background. However, will come forward in time. Your responsibility in this moment is to accept the restraints quietly and remain content with taking small steps. The obstacle to success can only be removed now by gentle measures. Inside yourself, be focused and determined. On the outside, non-action, adaptability, neutrality, and tolerance are the orders of the day. Ambitious behavior is to be avoided. Think of planting seeds rather than harvesting fruit. Don't forget that the inferior elements within yourself and others and the time itself may only be restrained now, not fully removed. Do not be tempted into any engagement which will serve to unbalance you. Instead, hold quietly to the center and take small steps until the higher power has tamed the obstacles in your way. So yeah, that's I guess maybe that dovetails on what I was saying about the Earth Day. I want it just to be every day, but it's really small steps. It's a lot of us small people doing the right things to do the right things. Got an email yesterday from a young Lizzie, and she was inquiring about our teachings here, our classes here, and it's always nice to get an email from somebody interested in classes, and I get them, so email her back here today and get that clarified. But it's just nice to see a young person that really cares about the earth. And she was just talking about the environment. I watched, she actually had a website and everything, and a college student, really pretty akamai, if you ask me, but really cared about the environment. And she would say sometimes she would get a little, lose faith that it's going to happen, that we're going to change anything, and that we're actually going to, as a young person, be able to have kids and have your kids have anything around. I was listening to something the other day, and the guy was saying, when I was a kid, there was fireflies and there were bugs and there were all these, things. And now there's Instagram and TikTok, and the earth is completely dead. There's no bugs, there's no anything. It's just, it's all dead. So, just the youth don't have the same richness that the elder folks had. And it's kind of a dismal reality, when you look out and there's no whales, and the dolphins are dying, and the ocean's really gross to go swim in. And I remember when I was a kid, I would go and I would look and there was all these fish and everything. Now you go out there and there's like a few fish, a few, but it's not the same. It's not the same. And what's up? Okay, so man, there's a great group assembled here today. We got Daniel coming in from Hawaii. We got Have Faith from Illinois, Cyclopath from I think New York. I want to say New York. I'm not sure. Cheryl from Idaho. What's up, Cheryl? Divine Hands. The Goof Man from New York. And the Goof Man, he sent me some inspiring things. I'll get into that in a minute here. But he sent me an email this. Did I minimize that, didn't I? He sent me a little interesting thing. It's always cool. I love when you guys reach out and talk about things. Maybe I'll jump into that right now, actually, while going through these. But it's good to see you guys. Joe, what's up? Stonemason, Illinois in the house. And yeah, beautiful. If it's raining, it's time to put microbes out there. It's spring. And George, hey man, I saw you were trying to get into the KNF support, but the email's been down. In other news, I've been, before I get into the Goofman's photos, I spent the last 2-3 days transferring KNF support from Natural Farming Hawaii servers over to the PureKNF Foundation servers. And whoa, what a task that is to dump a MySQL database, because all the databases there were storing it in the same database. And so the database had grown to be like 400 megabytes or something because of the Russian bots that I purged out the week prior that I was talking about. And so then I had to separate out the database, then dump it, then filter it, then re-upload it, then drop all these tables. And if you know anything about MySQL, you know that there is not a drop table like something in a pattern that you can just put in. You have to manually drop each table or use a tool like phpMyAdmin. Then you have to click a whole bunch of boxes, and it's not that fun. So yeah, and I do notice, because I do get to see the server logs in the back, and I do notice these errors and things. So, but anyway, I was able to completely move the server over, and then I had all these issues with upgrading from PHP 7 to PHP 8, and then with PHP 8, certain functions don't work properly because not everything's written for PHP 8. And oh my gosh. So anyway, having the technical expertise to do this and to like sit there at the terminal and in SSH and be like, which may sound like gibberish to most people, which I assume Korean natural farming sounds like gibberish to most people. That's why I translated down that I moved the server. Real simple. And now it's operating I think perfectly. I got to double check the emails are working. But it's now on the PureKNF web servers, and also been working on getting a PureKNF community thing up, and it's getting out there soon. And I'm going to launch it as soon as my DNS, which is a domain name server, transfers over, and then I can get a certbot. Open SS or not Let's Encrypt SSL certification certificate is what it's called. So anyway, bunch of nerd stuff. But speaking of nerd stuff, check this out here. Let's see, this is the one. That's the one. And then I'm gonna slide this sucker over just a hair here, bring that into view. And it's this one's titled Nerd Stuffs, and this one is from the Goofman, and he thought I might be interested in this and get a kick out of it. And definitely, so he is 3D printing all of his starter cells. So using PLA, which I think is plastic laminate, I don't know, adhesive maybe, I don't know what the A stands for, but it's you take these little filaments and you load them into this 3D printer here. And this is, this is his little 3D printer. Talk about a futuristic, amazing guy. Got his little 3D printer going, and he's printing himself his own pots. Polylactic acid is what it stands for. Awesome. Lactic acid. I wonder if it's, oh, it's made from corn. That is awesome. So it's not even plastic. It's edible. These are edible pots, corn pots that he's printing in this 3D printer. And look at all these little pots he's made. And they're all geometric, so they fit together perfectly. So that he doesn't, you know, he can tightly stack them together. The hexagon, you know, I think yeah. Or is that octagon? Octagons. Is it octagons? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, it's hexagons. Yeah, but look at this. I mean, now he doesn't have to go to the store. He can print pots from corn and get his little starters together. And look at those. And they also have holes in the bottom so they can grow through. And you can see his hand there for scale. Unless he has huge hands, they're you know, nice small ones. And then they can grow through at the bottom, so they're not going to get root bound. And he can custom print his own pots. How cool is that? And here's, you know, and he can print all these different sizes. So you can have, you know, I guess start them in here, move them to there, move them to there. Get them so they grow nicely. They feel nice and comfortable. They're tucked in there. How cool is that? And maybe you could just plant it directly into the ground. I don't know. You'd block some of these surface roots. But maybe if you put little holes like here, maybe the roots would grow out of that and then also through the bottom. I don't know. I don't know if it'd hold the potting material as well. But, oh, there's little holes on the sides too. So if the roots grow out through the bottom, oh, these are awesome. Man, that... That is cool. Oh, Cyclopath is in Belgium, by the way. Belgium in the house. Woo! We're worldwide. And Mark, happy birthday, Bridger. I know it was your birthday the other day, and I hope you're doing well. But look at this, man. So talk about nerdy stuff. You know, we got a pretty nerdy crowd here. Of, you know, if you're tuned into office hours, you're obviously nerding out on office hours. So yeah, these are pretty darn cool. Yeah, and I don't know how much all this costs, but like once you buy a 3D printer like this, you know, you kind of have it forever. Oh, I can zoom in that way. Whoa, look at that. You know, you buy it once, you print forever, and now you never have to buy pots again, and all these things, right? So that's pretty cool. Yeah. Oh, okay. So he's saying that they take about 80 years to biodegrade. Well, you know, oh yeah. All that stuff where they have these compostable plastic that made out of corn, but it's not, and it, you know, takes 80 years to degrade. We're trying, right? We're trying, but we're really, you know, natural farming, doing these other things, truly putting out the good stuff. I don't know, maybe increase the microbes, train them how to eat this plastic, specifically this corn PLA, polylactic acid. Maybe it would do something better. Tanzania in the house. Tanzania. I don't know how you say it. But man, wow, what a good crowd gathered here. And I have one other kind of share I wanted to share with you. It's just a little action here because this week I went out and worked with my buddy, and we're trying to get him a YouTube channel going. So I just wanted to share a little bit about this with you guys, see if you get some feedback, what you think. So hang on here, one sec. So he just got a GoPro, and I've been teaching him how to use it and how to get into oh, that's not going to do that. Okay, well, oh, because you know why? Let me open it this way. It'll do better in the actual QuickTime versus the, look at the spinning beach ball. Maybe it'll do better. I'm trying to load it off an external hard drive as well, but you know what? Let's just play it here. Oh, it's not going to play now. Oh, it's thinking. Why is my computer? Oh, did I crash it? I crashed the system. No. Oh no, the beach ball of death. What did I do? Oh, I gotta relaunch my Finder. Relaunch that. Come on, Finder. Oh, you know what? It's a hard drive spinning up in the back that lagged everything. Why? Why? Okay, so one sec. Let's see here. It's here. It's there. It's there. It's there. Let me launch this. Okay, there we go. And this thing, put this over here for you guys. And let's see. Maybe we'll just go to this view here. And we'll play this. So check this out. This is working with my buddy Kapila, and we're trying to get him a YouTube channel. So let me know, but what you think?
Will you please get this off of my rope? Thank you. Thank you.
So anyway, there's a small little preview of what we've been doing. I don't know. What you guys think? Would you watch that? It's kind of like ASMR type of, you know, watching Kapila do his work. He's such an artist to take the trees down. that kind of counterintuitive to what I'm doing here of making trees bigger. But all those albesias, clean them down, make more light, chip them up, turn them into good compost, good things, everything, right? You know, happy Earth Day, taking down trees. But those albesia, if you let them get too big, you know, they're dangerous. They'll fall on your house. They'll kill you. They'll kill your dog. You know, just like the police. Yeah. So anyway, let's see here. So we got some other natural farming questions. So I'll get back to that. I just wanted to share a little bit about what I was doing out there this past week, getting some film. He did that with his GoPro. I actually worked with him with a drone the other day, but oh man, it's hard to fly a drone while someone's cutting down trees. Yeah. So you watch Kapila's channel. I was thinking of naming the channel Kapila's Nuts. Just because he's nuts, man. And he also likes coconuts. And, you know, if you know Kapila, I think it's perfect. But he's like, I want to have it serious. So people call my tree trimming service. I'm like, look, call the channel Kapila's Nuts. And then you can say, hey, I'm Kapila. I do tree trimming. If you need help, I'll take down the biggest trees you got. Call Kapila's tree service at and give his phone number. I thought that, you know, it's a better way of doing it. And just name your channel Kapila's Nuts, because you need those views, right? If he can get, you know, 5,000, 10,000, 1,000 views, then, you know, then it'd make it worth more of his time to climb those trees and get nuts. So anyway, I'll be helping him out this little bit, do a few bits of edits there, and teaching him how to turn on the GoPro and then have someone monitor it so that he's actually getting good footage. And but yeah. Okay, so George is asking, is KNF structure omitted from maintenance formula for IMOs? So let's pull that up and let's look at it. Let's see what the book says, because there's ain't no party like the proper party. And let's get that up here and let's see here. So so let me transition this over. Let me switch to this one actually. Person in person. Why not? Oh, that one. Okay. Let's transition this over and let's look at the formula for the IMOs. Okay, so the IMOs are going to be here. This soil formula here coming across. This one. Oh, let me make my mouse better. This one right here. So, or excuse me, no, this one right here, the soil formula coming across here, soil. So we have food, and this is the dilutions. If you were to do 1 gallon, it would be 8 milliliters, but otherwise you use this ratio 1 to 500 for food, cleanser 1 to 500, medicine 1 to 1,000, structure 1 to 1,000. Then there's protectors in there, and then there's 1 to 1,000, and then there's minerals in there, 1 to 20. So a little bit stronger dilution of seawater coming in. And this is what you consider the soil formula. So whether you're making IMOs and mixing this into your IMO pile, or after you're done making IMOs and you spread the IMOs out on the land, then you're watering with this soil formula right here. So this is the formula that Master Cho recommends to use for those right there. And that's, yeah, so it does include structure, which you know is calcium phosphate here. So it does include that. You know, you need food, cleanser, medicine, and structure for those microbes, plus some protectors, some bodyguards to keep them safe while they're growing, and a bit of minerals so that they don't get emaciated, right? Everything there. What is omitted from this is fuel and reproduction. Those two are not included in the soil formula. And reason for that is you're not needing, there is calcium in the calcium phosphate here in the structure. There's calcium. You don't need the extra calcium here. And the fuel may cause your microbes to overgrow in the pile and overheat. And when you're putting them out on the land as well, the extra fuel, you want them to plug into the ground to start to find the nitrogenous material there. You don't, if you provide them too much of this, they'll kind of overgrow and get fat and lazy. Not that all fat people are lazy, but you know, out of shape. And you want them to go out and find the fuel themselves into the land. And if you put it in the pile, it's too much fuel. You know, it's like throwing too much gas on a fire. If you put too much, it'll just blow up, right? If I'm creating a pile of wood and I put too much gas, too much fuel into there, and I light it on fire, it's going to just blow up and really take you out in a huge fireball. And that's not what you want. You want slow, steady growth. You want the soil microbes to really nourish themselves into your soil. So that's why fuel's omitted here. And this is the soil formula coming across, which I think I can zoom so you can see it a little better. And then other thing too here to mention, since I got the book up here, is that I've been working on the book. I know a bunch of people have bought the continuous edition of it, and so I've been working on it a lot here, and I just got a whole new introduction written, really clarifying how everything's used together. And so there's a 3-page introduction added, and I'm gonna get this all together, make a bunch more edits here, and then I'll send it out to you guys via the email. And but you know, obviously it still has the old date here. The last edition was March 8th, 2022. So it's about time that I put out a 2023 edition. And so this will be out shortly. One of my main motivations for working on the book is I'm about to head to Maui in 5 days. Wowie, I'm going to Maui. And I'm working with the Hawaii Farmers Union through their Farm Apprentice Mentorship FAM program. And so I'll be teaching all their FAM program students over there on Maui, which I heard the guys from Lanai and Molokai are also coming over because they're part of Maui County, part of, you know, those 3 islands make up Maui County, and they have Maui County funding. So they'll be coming over to learn, be doing an evening class with them on Thursday, and then a practical hands-on. I think we're going to get into microbes and just do microbes. I usually start people with knfFood as a starting point because food is really a better starting point. But I think we're going to just dive deep into the microbes because I need to switch up what I'm doing a little bit and just teach them a bit about that. I may do a quick food intro with them that day. Maybe make food and microbes, and definitely be making the disgustingly cheap microbes, and definitely be making an IMO collection, and then probably an IMO pile as well. So that's a lot to fit into 3 hours, and usually I recommend when you're teaching to do less. Less is more. So we'll see. And but you know, as I get the new recipe book out for this year, I'm really excited because I'm also going to be traveling across the state. So going, you know, Maui is my first one, but then going to hopefully do Molokai, Lanai. Well, I don't know if I'll go to Lanai, but definitely Molokai, Oahu, and probably Kauai. And so if you're on those islands and you want to hear about that, let me know. Send an email to drake@pureknf.org. And then I'll also be going to Kona on the other side of the island into May to be doing a quick class over there. Oh my gosh, someone's calling me. It's my mom. Who else calls you other than your mom, right? I'm glad I still have a mom. So I'll be doing, you know, kind of an island tour type of thing and going around usually in the summer I used to do or spring, summer, I would do a America tour, the KNF Aloha tour, and go to America. But all since the COVID stuff and all that, I really, I don't like traveling very far from home anymore. Just, you never know when, you know, misinformation is going to attack you and get locked down. So anyway, on that, that's, you know, new edition of the book coming out here shortly. What else we got going on? You know, you guys are talking about soil and building soil. I did want to mention that, here, let me see, let me pull this up, let's go to, let's actually, let's just go to YouTube. So what I'm going to do here is pull up on my channel. So if you click on the channel below, and then here, Master Cho has talked about making potting soil. Where is it? It's not, you know, this is where I need to cut this into a YouTube short and make like a little short thing. But he has talked about it, here. And so, on these online courses here, scroll over. Oh, is it not there? Darn. Okay, no. Okay. So, I mean, the thing is, my YouTube is poorly organized. Even when I go to find stuff, I'm like, where is it? But the thing is, he has talked about it. I happen to know where all this stuff is because it's in my brain, but I think I need to go to my playlists here. And then, I mean, I don't know how the heck you'd find this without me here to do this, because it's not even in that one. Oh, okay. Well, okay. Well, I'll link that here. Oh, you know, I got to click all playlists, and then are these the only ones I'm featuring? Oh my gosh. Ah, YouTube is so junk at this. Okay, created playlist here. It's got to be in these here of, oh man, origins of KNF, Master Cho. Is that all? Come on, there got to be more than that. Maybe I clicked through it too quick. Oh, okay. Well, I don't blame you guys for not finding this, but I'll make a short on it of Master Cho talking about making potting soil, because it's, you know, that's a good tip. It's a good information to make those things happen. Can you use fine gravel for making IMO4? Really fine gravel? So the question from George is, can you use fine gravel? I guess you guys are talking about the soils here, but Master Cho talked, you know, when we're in Korea, in fact, I mean, since I'm on the channel here, let me pause this and go down here. So on the channel, I'm in the basic poultry training, which I can name basic poultry training. It's pretty advanced actually. But you know,
3 things. 1.
Oh no, that's at Pastor Lee's farm. It's this one. You know, knowing where all this stuff is and indexing and referencing it. I mean, you could just be a hardcore person and like watch all this and then know where it all is. But man, it's hard to find this stuff. I don't blame you guys for not being able to find this and not knowing more about it, because it's like, here, it's my own stuff and I can't even find it. But that's why indexing and referencing, yeah, that's us driving to Muju. I know, I mean, I know because I was there, right? But if you watch it, Here he's talking about the IMO. This is his IMO barns where he's making these things. This is the feed mixing day. I really need to cut these things down. It's really what it comes to. So if you drop me some super chats, give me time to get off the farm. Maybe I can cut these things down for you guys all. Or maybe I'll just do it because I'll do it anyway. So Mark's asking, making FFJ with lemons, more sugar or less, about equal parts. So if I have 10 pounds of lemons, I'd add 10 pounds of sugar. Because it's so liquidy, those lemons, it'll pull out the material and it'll work well. So if you're using a juicy fruit like a lemon, more sugar, so equal parts. So 1 to 1 on there. If you're using plants, it's usually a half to a third. Way less sugar for plants, but fruits, especially juicy fruits like a lemon, equal parts. And you will find you won't have to super saturate it much at the end, but adding more sugar to a juicy fruit and fruits makes a better fermented plant juice. KNF food out of fruits for you. Okay, so with all that, and let's transition over here. And get into Master Cho's presentation. So Master Cho here, the origins of KNF, getting in there, doing his thing. And what I want to share with you today is this presentation here from Master Cho. So this is his Cho Global Natural Farming, now pretty much defunct organization, largely because his son kind of taken over. And there's other organizations that have this name but are not, have no relation to him at this point. So what is natural farming according to Master Cho, right? That's what today's presentation's on. And, going through his old slides here to get into these deals. So what is it, according to Master Cho? So here's Master Cho in his happy place, taking small steps. But he defines natural farming as an agricultural methodology for promoting protection of the environment and life. So it's a lot of other things, like, it's like you go to a chemical farmer and you ask them, well, what's, agriculture? They'll tell you food production, but then they do nothing for protection of the environment or life, right? They're all about pesticides, killing everything you see, dumping neurotoxins developed for wartime on pests, and killing everything, like monocropping, not respecting any of the life that was there, the diversity, the bugs, the birds, the moles, just walk out into the bushes and look at how many insects there are, and especially go back 20 years and look at how many insects there were. There were a lot, and now there's hardly any insects, and talk about the waterways coming down the Mississippi, where parts of the Gulf are completely dead zones from so much nitrogen washing down from all of America, the Mississippi River draining most of America down into the Gulf and killing things. It's the modern agriculture that disregards the environment and disregards life. Think about it. They're spraying herbicides and then selling that product to you within a few days, and you're taking in those herbicides, and then they're feeding those to animals that are then aggregating these chemicals and all these things. So natural farming is an agricultural methodology promoting protection of environment and life. And today, I don't think, producing food in vast quantities is very important because there's so many people and we don't want a famine. But if we kill the environment and we kill life, it's all in vain anyway, right? What does it matter that you made more food if you killed the environment? It's like eroding your foundation to build a higher tower, right? Like, it's like Jenga. We're going to take all the bricks from the bottom, we're going to stack them on the top, and we're going to have a better tower because it's taller. It's like, no, you're actually eroding your foundation. So that's what Master Cho brings. That's why I'm into this, because the environment, Does it scale? Does it go to all these things? It can. But the main thing is we're protecting the environment and we're protecting life. And what could be more important today? I don't know. But so let's go back to this. And natural farming utilizes natural resources made locally by farmers themselves with natural farm byproducts aided by locally available indigenous microorganisms instead of using herbicides and pesticide. Natural farming results in superior agricultural products with high productivity and minimum cost and labor by maximizing nature's potential. I know it's bad to just read off the screen and read these things, but I'm just reading it for everyone in case you're listening to this. And the idea is that utilizing natural resources made locally by farmers themselves. This is sovereignty. This is empowerment. This means you take the means of production, not only growing the food, thanks, but bringing it to you. You can make your fertilizers. You can tune everything you need into exactly the way you need it using byproducts. And so you're not just using the good stuff, you're using things that you would otherwise throw away. For instance, making a fermented plant juice, a knfFood out of banana peels. After I've peeled the banana, there's all this banana left over. I could compost that, sure, but I can also add sugar and extract the goodness, the essential bits of the banana out of the peels, and then spray that back on my bananas, and I'm going to get amazing results. So using byproducts to do this, and using your indigenous microbes, what's right around you, taking those, strengthening them, putting them back out into the environment. And instead of importing things and using foreign things, you're using what's right there, strengthening what's there and making it better. And it can result in high productivity, assuming you're able to continue to protect the environment and life, right? There's certain methodologies where you compromise, where you say, well, I don't care, I'm just going to do this because I'm going to get higher yield, but you're compromising the environment. It's like you still get the high productivity. If you do KNF and you see it, and you'll notice like, whoa, everything's flowering. Whoa, there's way more fruit this year. Whoa, my fruit tastes better. Wow, there's more of this. Everything is the best out there. Okay, minimum cost because you are basically just buying sugar. You're not having to go to the grocery store and buy some chemical stuff for $100 for a small bottle. You're able to go to Cost You Less or Costco or whatever. Maybe don't even go there. Maybe go to your local sugar producer, which they probably don't exist, but get sugar. And for a bag of sugar, $25 for 25 pounds of sugar, you now have enough to do way more than that grow bottle would be. Hey, thank you. Thank you. Super chats. You guys are awesome. Oh man. Okay. And, labor and also saving labor. Okay. And I'm going to jump to, Psychopath's question here, which says, I'm on a 1 acre plot planting a market garden. The farmers around me are spraying herbicide right now. Do you have any tips for protection against drift? I'm planning a hedge, but this will take a few years. Thanks. The best thing to do is to get the IMOs in the soil, so as that drift comes over, the IMOs will digest it. Other than that, I don't know how to stop drift other than, educate the other farmers about it. File a complaint and ban drift, make sure they spray just down where their thing is, where there is no drift. I don't know. I mean, you're going to have to cooperate with the other guys around you to teach them not to spray drift. And not to have that, around you. There's no need for it. So anyway, back to this presentation. Natural farming pursues harmony with nature based on the 3 laws of nature. So this is, there's actually 3 heats. Okay, so really where natural farming takes its basis here is coming from harmony with nature. You're trying to balance nature. I don't translate it as harmony. I translate it as balance. And you're trying to work with water, heat, and air. So, the rain coming down, the moisture in the air, the sun, heat, and the air, all these things have vital nutrients. You know, did you know that 70 to 90%, might even be 96%, I'm pretty sure Partita can probably fact check me on this, but of what you see, like if I'm looking at a plant, I believe it's greater than 70%. I know that might even be 95% of what you're seeing came out of the air. Very little of your plant came from the ground, right? It's the carbon, the CO2, the rain falling, the carbon, the hydrogen, the oxygen, all those things are gases that come out of the air and the sky. And the plant, only like 4% of it, 4 or 6%, something like that, comes from the earth, which is your, P and K, phosphorus, potassium, those things come from the ground. And the calcium and all the rest of those elements. So respecting the air, the water, the sky, all these things, because you don't need much soil. You don't need a lot. Most of your plant comes out of the air. As long as you can get good microbes in there to do it. And then the heat from the sky, there's actually 3 heats: the sky, the heat from the ground, and then the heat from the microorganisms. And then the 3 bodies, the sky, the earth, the air, all these things, sky, earth, air. I don't know what he's meaning by that, but all those things combine, make your plant in the center, right? Of what you got. So balancing, with those things, that's where your power comes from. Very little of it comes from you, the farmer. Most of your power comes from the God-given natural resources. Then natural farming, farmers produce their own agricultural resources, materials easily with natural resources like agro-livestock byproducts from the farm. So again, natural farming, when it shines the best, it's with integrated animal farming, meaning that you're able to integrate in, even on the smallest scale, the microorganisms eating, those animals, up to the earthworms eating those, up to the moles and ground boring animals. Like here we got rats that dig holes, and all the way up to then, chickens, to pigs, to cows, to other livestock, sheeps, goats, these other tools that have been with us for centuries, and utilizing them for their byproducts, feeding them microbes, bringing their manures out, and feeding them the byproduct of your farming, and getting these cycles going. It really, when you get this cycle going with natural farming and you get integrated animal farming into your agroforestry or into your areas, or even if you're going to monoculture certain areas and do high production gardening, you're able to bring the resources around and you have to do a bit more work. That's where natural farming really shines. So natural farming encourages the combined agriculture and livestock farm to cross-utilize the byproducts and make the animal feed and natural fertilizers. This is pretty much what I was saying on the previous slide. Same thing, the integrated animal farming is really where it's at. So yeah, getting sheep on there, getting some way to do it with portable electric fence, like you're saying here, Thomas, and to bring those animals around and do rotational grazing. And before you move them into a paddock, spray it down with IMOs with seawater so that it, diluted seawater, proper IMOs. Then that the worms, everything, the grass grows better, everything becomes cycling much faster, much better, and animals really make that happen. So natural farming principles and technology has already been established for the livestock farming as well as for the crops. So a lot of what you're learning in natural farming, there's guidelines, there's books, there's these recipes, there's these ways where Master Cho's books have defined, the best way to keep animals, and I say it's the best ways. I don't know if it's the best ways, but it's the best ways I've seen so far of Master Cho's systems with that. We'll get into the livestock. It'll be one of the things we'll cover here in the future. But it's already been well established, right? You don't have to go and make things up. You just follow the recipes, and then you'll tune yourself in as a farmer and see how you can optimize for your specific location but a lot of it is just, follow what's out there already. The next slide says, in natural farming, the application of natural fertilizers feed is managed based on the nutritional cycle theory, which we covered nutritional cycle theory, I think a couple episodes ago. And it's really what this is about is giving the right nutrient at the right time in the right amount. So right amount, right time, right thing, right? All those matter, right? If it needs something and I give it at the wrong time, doesn't matter. If it needs something and I give it way too much or way too little, it's wrong. So all those ideas fit in of that nutritional cycle theory is, for the animals, they're going through certain stages in life. The juvenile's still milking. So I'm feeding them, my mother pig right now, my sow, feeding her calcium phosphate to help her keep her milk production up. And as the pigs start to eat, I can start to make their fermented feed for them in a way that helps them digest it better, build their gut microflora, so they're going to be better off throughout their life cycle. Didn't use antibiotics on them, so they have their full intact gut biota working for them. And then, same for plants. They go through these different stages where juvenile needs something different than when they're going through puberty, than when they're going through maturing fruits. So understanding all these stages and phases are understanding the nutrient cycle theory. So going a little bit deeper into this, the great teachers in natural farming, right? Who are the origins of Master Cho's natural farming? Who are the origins? Who are, the influences for him? And he's talking about his 4 spiritual teachers. Number 1 is the Bible. And it says, it is not the words of the man, but the voice of the omniscient God. And and if you look at Master Cho, he has, you listen to his lectures, he has a lot of wisdom that comes directly from the Bible. And some people would say, oh, maybe it's not true or whatever. But he talks about how in the beginning, there was just the ocean, right? There was just the waters. And then the land came up from the waters, right? And he refers that back. He quotes some Genesis, and then I think also Corinthians quotes on this, where it talks about how that's one of the reasons when he's talking about seawater, why it's so important that seawater is like the amniotic fluid, is like the minerals. It's very similar to amniotic fluid and diluted blood. And when the land comes up, then the water flows on it and knocks all the minerals off. And if you take the seawater and put it back on the land, you're restoring the birth. When you're a baby, you have such soft, nice skin and it's all good. Then as you age, you become all like old and thin skinned and, not as healthy, but remineralizing your skin, remineralizing the earth brings back that youthful abundance, that youthful growth. And so he gets that, directly from the Bible. He's reading this and understanding how this book talks about, the origins of Earth. So let's look and see that. And then he's talking about, so his next spiritual teacher, number 2, is nature. And it says, it reveals its secrets when the man stays humble. And this is the most important for it, to sit out and to be humble and not to think you know best and you have some, permanent head damage, PhD, thinking that you know better. And if you do have permanent head damage, that's okay. You can recover. But to understand that you can get humble and you can humble yourself to look and to see and to really understand and to forget all this, knowledge that comes in from certain ways, and not forget it, but to understand that nature is truth. What's happening in nature is true. There's no lies. There's no misinformation. There's nothing wrong in nature. You just have to observe that. But it's hard to see sometimes because you have to be very humble to understand these things. And so that if you can just sit and observe nature, even in computer science, some of the best algorithms, even this new AI technology, is coming by studying how nature works, how brains work, how you have these units like my brain is a bunch of associative binary switches, essentially of these neurons, and then it sends a ripple through, and and that's what our tensor processing units, TPUs, these different ideas. The most advanced AI is just mimicking what's happening naturally in a brain, right? And how to teach it, how to learn this iterative associative properties. So nature is truth. Nature is the most sophisticated thing out there. And then we try to make all these other technologies fit on top by like extracting and isolating and doing these things. But nature is actually true. So if you can humble yourself to study it, it can actually advance our other technologies. And then his third spiritual teacher is the 4-H Club, which their ideology is head, heart, hands, and health. And I used to be work with the 4-H program, doing after school program with kids. And I really love that, head, heart, health, hands, heart, these principles of understanding this. And if you want to study more, look up the 4-H, join your local 4-H club, get into it. And then his last, in the last spiritual teacher, number 4, which I think he put this last because it's there, is his own conscience, meaning that I chose to follow my conscience, not my greed. Meaning that if you have a good spirit and you work on yourself and you make yourself a moral, just, and upright person, that you will learn more than anybody else. And so it's self-improvement, these things that really make it where you're learning today. In those you'll learn from the spirit. So so going into Master Cho's human being teachers, his first one was Yamagishi Myozo, and to him the spirit and the mind were more important than the technology and the management, meaning that he really valued, if you're a moral, upright, just person and you're truly working on yourself, then you're going to learn more than technology and the other management. And it's like the simple farmer. Like you ever heard of the guy where he's a guy is in a boat out there, I think, or I don't know. Anyway, and the guy was like saying the mantra wrong, and he's like, no, it's like this. And the guy was walking on water, and he's like, oh, okay. Like, anyway, it doesn't matter if you're moral, upright, and just. Like Master Cho said, if you have the right enthusiasm, you're going to be better than the most studied and learned person. So improve yourself, and you will find that everything else around you will improve, which is kind of, I always talk about that. His next teacher was, his second teacher was Shibata Genji. And he opened Master Cho's eyes to the remarkable world of enzymes and microorganisms. And he still cherishes his book, The True Aspect of Enzymes, which if anybody has that in Japanese, I would love to get a hold of it, because I really want to read that. But understanding what enzymes are, zymes are like the bits of life, and enzymes are something I really need to learn more about. Partita was talking about it one time, but really need to get into there. And understanding these subtleties of enzymes, how they power life, and then the microorganisms and how they build from there to become macroorganisms. And even inside me, you'll look and you'll find I'm 95% microorganism. Even though my human cells are much bigger and outnumbered, or they're a minority, I look human, but I'm really a microorganism, and majority of my proteins and everything are functioning with enzymes. Enzymes are the drivers of almost all of this stuff. So I really need to learn more about this, but I wish I had a Shibata Genji in my life. And then his third and final, or not final teacher, but his third major teacher was Inoi Yasushi. And he also read his book more than a dozen times, titled The Theory of New Cultivation Technology. So I would also like to get a hold of this book. They're both in Japanese. I don't know where they are out there, but get into that and to understand a little bit more of these things. Because if those were the three teachers, and vast majority, those two other teachers in Master Cho's life, Genji and Yasushi, were posthumously. I don't think he even met them, but he studied, and then he went to Japan and met his disciples and worked with his wife and stuff and learned from them. But he mainly read their books. So for you, don't fret if you haven't met Master Cho. You can read his book, can read his disciples' books, and you can then learn to understand all of this stuff and become, work on yourself and become a better person and understand all these things. And before next time we'll pick up here on the natural farming methodology, because it's 10 o'clock, office hours over for me. And hey, thank you for the super chats. Thank you guys. I want to thank Stonemason, Cyclopath, Ben, all for putting their money where their mouth is, giving helping me out. I'm going to work on a bunch of good stuff for natural farming, as always. Between now and then, I'm always trying to better the world and bring these things to you. Working on indexing my YouTube channel, working on cutting the shorts, working on getting more information better packaged out there so that we can make it easier to spread the word. But big thanks to Master Cho, right here behind me. Thanks to PureKNF Foundation and knfsupport.com, the project that the foundation runs, which is up and going. I think I'm double check the emails are going out. But all this, thanks. I really appreciate all you guys tuning in, all you girls, all you folks out there. I should just say folks, right? Tuning in, making the world a better place and doing what you can. And yeah, ask me questions whenever. Email me, drake@pureknf.org if you want. Sign up for a class. I'll have more listed soon. If you're in the islands, let me know. I do need help coordinating these classes around the islands. Just because, man, it's always better to have more help and more people involved. And anyway, looking forward to you tuning in next week. Thanks, Ben. Yeah, aloha. And I'm gonna go water my cows and get out of here and do a few things and enjoy the rest of my Sunday and be a good person. So I'm gonna, again, long live the natural farmer. Aloha. Love you all. Bye now.